Emily had always wanted to be a nurse, ever since she was a little girl. She loved the idea of helping people, of being there for them in their time of need. And so, when she graduated from nursing school, she landed her dream job at St. Mary's Hospital. On her first day at the hospital, Emily was feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. She was eager to get started, but she also knew that she had a lot to learn. She was assigned to the orthopedic ward, where she would be responsible for helping patients who had broken bones or other injuries to their bones and muscles. Emily's first patient was a man named Jack. He was in his early 30s and had broken his leg in a skiing accident. Emily could tell right away that he was in a lot of pain, but he tried to hide it with a smile. "Hi there," Emily said as she walked into Jack's room. "My name is Emily, and I'll be your nurse today. How are you feeling?" Jack gave her a small smile. "I'm hanging in there," he said. "Thanks for asking." Emily went to work, checking his vital signs and giving him his medication. As she worked, she found herself chatting with Jack. He was easy to talk to, and Emily found herself opening up to him in a way that she didn't usually with her patients. Over the next few days, Emily and Jack continued to talk. They talked about everything from their favorite books to their childhood memories. Emily was surprised by how much they had in common, and she found herself looking forward to seeing Jack every day. One day, Jack asked Emily to stay a little longer after her shift ended. "I know this might be a little forward," he said, "but would you like to go out for dinner with me sometime? I'd really like to get to know you better." Emily was taken aback. She had never been asked out by a patient before, and she wasn't sure if it was appropriate. But something about Jack's earnest expression made her heart skip a beat. "Sure," she said. "I'd like that." Their first date was simple but perfect. They went to a cozy Italian restaurant and talked for hours over plates of pasta and glasses of wine. Emily found herself laughing and smiling more than she had in a long time. There was something about Jack that made her feel alive and happy. As the days turned into weeks, Emily and Jack's relationship deepened. They went on more dates, and Emily found herself falling for him more and more. She loved the way he looked at her, the way he listened to her, the way he made her feel. But there was something about Jack that Emily couldn't quite put her finger on. He seemed guarded, almost as if he was hiding something from her. She tried to ignore the nagging feeling in her gut, but it was always there, lurking in the back of her mind. One day, Emily decided to confront Jack about it. "Is there something you're not telling me?" she asked him. "Something about your past, maybe?" Jack looked away, his expression pained. "There is," he said, "but I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it yet." Emily didn't push him, but she couldn't help feeling hurt and confused. She didn't know what Jack was hiding, but she knew that it was something big. Despite the unease in their relationship, Emily and Jack continued to see each other. They went on weekend getaways and spent lazy afternoons in the park. Emily felt happy and content in Jack's company, but there was always a shadow of doubt in her mind. One day, Jack surprised Emily by taking her on a hot air balloon ride. Emily had never been on a hot air balloon before, and she was both nervous and excited as they soared up into the sky. As they floated above the city, Jack took her hand and gazed into her eyes. "Emily," he said softly, "I have something I need to tell you." Emily's heart pounded in her chest. She had been waiting for this moment for weeks. "What is it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Jack took a deep breath. "I haven't been entirely honest with you," he said. "There's something I've been keeping from you, something that I'm afraid will change the way you feel about me." Emily's stomach dropped. She had a sinking feeling that she knew what he was going to say. "I'm married," Jack said. "Separated, technically, but still married." Emily felt a wave of shock and anger wash over her. She pulled her hand away from Jack's and turned away from him. "How could you not tell me this sooner?" she demanded. I know, Jack said, his voice filled with regret. "I should have told you from the beginning, but I was scared that you would judge me or that you would leave me." Emily shook her head. "I don't know what to say," she said. "I feel so betrayed." Jack reached out to touch her arm, but she pulled away. I think I need some time to think, she said. I need to figure out if I can forgive you for this. The rest of the hot air balloon ride was silent and awkward. Emily couldn't help feeling a sense of loss and sadness. She had thought that Jack was the one, but now she wasn't sure if she could trust him. Over the next few days, Emily tried to sort through her feelings. She still loved Jack, but she didn't know if she could ever forgive him for lying to her. She couldn't help feeling like their relationship had been built on a foundation of lies. In the end, Emily decided that she couldn't be with Jack anymore. It was too painful to be with someone who had kept such a big secret from her. She broke things off with him gently but firmly, telling him that she needed time to heal and move on. It wasn't easy for Emily. She missed Jack terribly, and she couldn't help wondering what might have been if he had been honest with her from the beginning. But she knew that she had made the right decision for herself. She had to be true to her own heart, even if it meant letting go of the person she loved.
Months had passed since Emily had broken things off with Jack, and she was slowly starting to feel like herself again. She had thrown herself into her work, taking on new projects and working long hours to keep her mind occupied. But even though she was busy, she couldn't help feeling like something was missing. She missed the feeling of being in love, of having someone to share her life with. She tried dating again, but none of the men she met seemed to measure up to Jack. One day, as Emily was leaving work, she bumped into Jack on the street. She hadn't seen him since the day they had broken up, and her heart skipped a beat when she saw him. "Hey," he said softly, looking at her with a mix of sadness and hope in his eyes. "Hi," Emily replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "How are you?" "I'm good," Jack said. "I've been thinking a lot about you." Emily felt her resolve start to crumble. She had missed him so much, and she couldn't help feeling a glimmer of hope that maybe they could work things out. But she forced herself to stay strong. "I don't know if that's a good idea," she said. "I still feel hurt by what you did." "I know," Jack said, "and I'm sorry. I should have been honest with you from the beginning." Emily sighed. "I don't know if I can trust you again," she said. "I understand," Jack said, "but I still love you, Emily, and I want to try to make things right between us." Emily's heart skipped a beat at his words. She still loved him too, despite everything, but she couldn't just forget what he had done. "I don't know," she said, feeling torn. "I need some time to think about this." "Of course," Jack said. "Take all the time you need. But please, just know that I still love you and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right." Emily nodded, feeling a sense of longing and sadness as Jack walked away. She knew that she still had feelings for him, but she didn't know if she could ever trust him again. Over the next few days, Emily thought about Jack constantly. She tried to focus on her work, but her mind kept wandering back to him. She found herself replaying all the good times they had shared and wondering if they could ever recapture that feeling. Finally, after days of agonizing over it, Emily decided to give Jack another chance. She called him and told him that she was willing to meet with him and talk things over.
They met at a coffee shop, and as soon as Emily saw Jack, she knew that she had made the right decision. She still loved him, despite everything, and she couldn't help feeling hopeful that they could make things work. They talked for hours, going over everything that had happened and trying to figure out where to go from here. Jack was open and honest with her, telling her everything that had happened with his marriage and how he had been scared to tell her. In the end, Emily decided to take a chance on Jack. She knew that it wouldn't be easy, but she was willing to try to rebuild their relationship from the ground up. They started slowly, going on dates and spending time together. Emily was still wary, but she couldn't help feeling a sense of happiness and contentment when she was with Jack. Months turned into years, and Emily and Jack's relationship slowly grew stronger. They talked openly and honestly with each other, and Emily found that she could trust Jack again. One day, as they were sitting in a park, Emily looked over at Jack and felt overwhelmed with love for him. She took his hand and squeezed it tightly. "What's wrong?" Jack asked, sensing the change in her mood. "Nothing," Emily said, smiling at him. "I just feel so lucky to have you in my life. I never thought we would be here together after everything that happened." I feel the same way, Jack said, squeezing her hand back. I know that I hurt you, and I'll always be sorry for that. But I'm so grateful that you gave me another chance. Emily leaned in and kissed him softly, feeling a sense of happiness and contentment that she had never felt before. As they pulled away from each other, Emily looked up at the sky and felt a sense of peace. She knew that their relationship wouldn't always be easy, but she was willing to work through any obstacles that came their way. I love you, she said, looking back at Jack. I love you too, he said, smiling at her. Forever and always. And as they sat there together, Emily knew that they had finally found their happy ending.